Hey everybody, Adam here for True North Wilds. We finally have some nice weather that I can get outside and sit on our brand new deck, which I absolutely love, but has been the main reason that I've been too busy to go fishing this month. So it's really nice to be out here finally. It is hot. We are having quite the heat wave, but I'll take this over rain and wind any day. I've got my Mystery Tackle Box Pro Walleye species specific box for, I'm assuming, July. Either it's for July and it's really early, which is strange for Mystery Tackle Box. I usually get them in the middle of the month, but I got one in June in the middle of the month, which I assumed was for June. So either it's super early, or I'm a box behind everybody else, and I honestly don't know what to tell you. I get a lot of comments saying that, oh, that box that you're opening is from last month. But then I go and look and it's not always the same as other people that are opening from last month. So I really don't know what's going on with these boxes. I got the one in June, and I got it in June, but I also got a May one that I got in May. So I don't see it being realistically that I'm getting it a month late every month, if that makes sense. But at the same time, I don't see them sending me this half a month early, so I don't know. We'll open this up and we'll find out. Mystery Tackle Box continues to keep me confused as far as schedules and what's exactly going on with their timeline here. But as far as I know, this is an early look at my July Walleye Pro Box, so let's see what we got. And honestly, if anybody has theories as far as what's going on, or if anybody can show me, link me to other videos or something that shows me that I am actually opening boxes a full month late, that would be useful information, because then I would be able to at least have something to go back to them and say, hey, what's going on here? But as of right now, it's sort of a mixed bag, where sometimes it looks like I get similar ones to the last month, but sometimes it's not, and I'm getting them in the month that I think is supposed to be getting them. So I don't know. I really don't know what's going on. If anybody has theories or can show me videos to sort of help me out there, let me know, because I'm starting to get really confused with these boxes. Anyway, that being said, we got our what's in the box card. I'll keep that handy. Let's put that right there. So this is the walleye box, so of course I'm going to be looking at everything in terms of catching walleye. And I'm hoping to get out fishing sometime in the next couple weeks, at least a few times, now that the deck here, at least for the time being, is done. We have the Blitz Firetail. So this is a blade bait from Blitz Lures. Not familiar with them at all. Basic, it looks pretty basic. Blade baits are pretty basic to begin with. But this, as far as color goes, it's sort of just a basic gold. Let's get in here. Basic gold color. It's got some gold flashy foil on it. It's got a gold extra little blade here on the tail end. Most blade baits that I see have an extra treble hook here, so they opted for the extra flash here. I don't mind that. I might actually rig up so that there is still a hook there as well as the tail, but that's not bad. Decent shape, decent weight towards the front, so it'll always be pointing down. You'll always have that flash. Even if you end up sitting on the bottom, you'll have this flash fluttering behind it. Blade baits are really good for walleye. They tend to work better in colder water when they're a little bit more aggressive. Now that it's getting pretty hot here, the water's pretty warm, they're a little bit more sluggish, they take a little bit more finesse, they take a little bit more of a, coaxing to hit. So these don't tend to work as good in warmer water, but good lures, and they can be used year round, and they are very good in ice fishing season. So that's something I'll use in ice fishing season as well. So nothing wrong with that. Blitz Lures, blade bait, nice and simple. Simple design, simple color. Gold is a nice color for walleye around here. Nothing wrong with that. I might actually be able to use that ice fishing for lake trout. They like that gold color. Next up we have the Impulse Reactionary baits from Northland Fishing Tackle. So this looks very similar to the Mimic Minnow that they make, which is a fantastic lure I've had a lot of success with. Looks just a little bit bigger than the Mimic Minnow. And it's crappy colored, so it's got a little bit of holographic foil inside for the flash. All it is a pre-rigged jig and plastic. So you can take this off, you could put replacements on, but all it is you got your jig head shaped like a fish head here, really nice jig head, and it fits perfectly into this plastic that's designed for it. It's got a paddle tail, all comes pre-assembled. They work. I mean, these things, Northland Tackle makes great stuff. I like the color. The color is really nice. It looks like it's going to have a ton of action. Again, it looks very, very similar to the Mimic Minnow that Northland Tackle puts out, and they have fantastic action in the water, so I have no doubt this will be well worth throwing into the water. I'm going to catch smallmouth bass, pike, and walleye on this, no problem. It's the right size. You can use this multiple ways. Just being a jig and a plastic, you can drop it to the bottom and bounce along the bottom. You can cast and just retrieve it and really get that tail action. You can vertical jig it. All sorts of applications for that. So nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Before I forget, let's just take a quick look at the prices here. So the Blitz Firetail Blade Bait, $6.59 US. So around $8 Canadian. That's not bad. That's reasonable. $8 Canadian. Northland Tackle Impulse Live Rig Paddle Minnow, $4.99 US. So $6.50, $7 Canadian. It's a little on the pricey side. I can get these locally at the local gas station, and I'd probably pay $4.99, $5.50 Canadian. So it's priced probably $1.50 too high for what I would pay locally. Not terrible, not terribly unreasonable for a box. Knuckleball jig. Oh, I love the knuckleballs. The absolute best jig, in my opinion, for vertical jigging, for ice fishing in particular, is the knuckleball jig. Pack of 2. These are smaller size than what I would normally use. They're a nice metallic green color. Got the bright red eyes on them. The metallic green really stands out in the water. This is one of the colors that I have the most luck with. It's a pink and white, and then this metallic green is sort of what we typically use most often. This is a bit light for what I would use around here though. It's 1/16 ounce, whereas typically I would use a 1/4 ounce, because most things around here there's a little bit of current, or I have to get down deeper. If I'm ice fishing, there's a little bit of current on the rivers where we ice fish. This is not going to be heavy enough to sink there. And then if I'm using it in open water, usually I'm going deeper and I want it to get down to the bottom a little faster. So great product, but this is just a little bit too small for me to be fishing for walleye with. So a little bit of a miss there. But I do love knuckleball jigs. I'll put it to use, but I'll use it for other species than walleye. They have it, FinTech knuckleball jig, $2.57 for a pack of 2. Again, you know, that's $3, $3.50 Canadian. That's about right, actually. I was just thinking to the last time that I bought a pack of these, and $3.50 is about right. So, priced appropriately. Next up, Bandit Lures. I've gotten a few Bandit Lures. I can't think of anything that stands out about them. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, not sure. So this is the Walleye Shallow. It's for casting or trolling in 8 to 12 feet of water. So 8 to 12 feet. It's the right depth for this time of year, for sure. For walleye, definitely the right depth. I love the color right off the bat. Purple, nice bright chartreuse line, nice green front. I like the pattern, just the half and half, the contrast. I love lures that have a good contrast like that. I always like purple lures. I have tons of luck on purple. Anything colored purple or pink for walleye, it usually does really well for me. Chartreuse is a close second, so this combination for me is perfect. It's got a rattle in there, pretty aggressive rattle, pretty good amount of movement. A couple ball bearings in there, pretty good amount of movement on them. That's nice to see. Ow, sharp hooks. Good profile, your basic diving Good length. I'll get some nice big walleye on this, I think. Bandit Walleye Shallow, $7.49 US, $9.50-ish Canadian, $9. That's about right. I mean, I don't know if that's appropriate for this brand. I don't know much about this brand. I know I've gotten some of them, but I can't really think about anything that I know in particular about Bandit Lures. But as far as just to go and buy a crankbait this size for that depth, that seems about right for price-wise. Nothing wrong with that. I'm looking forward to using that. I don't have anything with that exact combo of colors, and I think that's a perfect color combination for walleye for right now. Next up, we have from Scandinavia, Westin Lures. I know Westin brand, and they're a good quality brand. They're more of a premium brand. They're up there. I have a few things from them. In particular, I like their plastics, which we have here. Plastics. So, similar to the Northland tackle Minnow, this is just a pre-rigged plastic with a jig head and a hook already threaded through for you. You can see the hook there. It's rigged up weedless style, which for walleye doesn't usually matter. Usually I'm not fishing for walleye in the weeds. I'm fishing around rocks and structure. So usually with this for walleye, I'll rig it up so that the hook's a little bit higher, more of a chance of catching, because they don't tend to squeeze down on it as much as, say, a bass. But as far as color goes, I really like this. There's so much sparkle going on here. There's gold, and there's blue, and there's green, and there's black in there on this nice clear grayish sort of plastic. It's scented with something. You can definitely smell some sort of a scent on there. Even the jig head has the sparkles layered onto it, so it really looks like one continuous piece. I really like this. I like the jig head. This is going to be a good action, good paddle tail. One thing that I like about this is, and you can't really see it because it's on the inside here, but right here, the jig head has a wire and a loop right here, and that's where the hook is attached. And so the shank of the jig head and the hook itself can actually swivel. So you get movement all the way to the top of the plastic, and it's only the very last quarter inch or so that doesn't move. So you're going to have tons and tons of movement in the water here for this plastic, which should trigger some pretty good strikes. Pike are going to go crazy for this. I can see that already. Smallmouth bass will probably go after this, and walleye for sure will go after this. The colors are great. The action looks like it's going to be really great, and I love just the freedom of movement that it has. Looking forward to throwing that. That is not bad at all. Price-wise, we have Westin Magic Minnow is what it's called. $9.99 US, so that's $13 Canadian, somewhere around there. For a pack of 2, and only one comes with the jig and the hook pre-rigged, that's pricey. I know Westin stuff tends to be a little bit on the pricier side, so that's probably what the actual value is. So I'm not going to comment on Mr. Tacklebox's evaluation of the price, but just as far as Westin's pricing of their stuff, if that's what they listed at, I could see them listing it at that price, but I think that's pricey. That's probably why I don't buy a lot of Westin stuff, is because they are on the pricier side. So for me, $13 to get one jig head with 2 plastics isn't worth it, but I'm glad to get them in the box because definitely I think that'll work well. Last up, we have Strike Pro. So Strike Pro I'm very familiar with. I've had good and bad experiences with them. Strike Pro Deep Runner is what it's called. Depth 15 feet. So quite a deep diver. So going into summer, going into July, walleye keep going deeper and deeper as you get through July. So 15 feet, that's a nice depth to get. It's a different type of plastic. It feels different. It doesn't have the glossy finish. It feels like more of a matte finish as far as the paint job and the plastic. And you got your sort of cloudy colored plastic, whatever type of plastic this is. It's a little bit different than your normal dive bill. Decent hooks on it though. Big wide joint action, like big wide movement range on that. You'll get some chatter, some clatter and a little bit of a rattle. Very, very small BBs in there to give that just a small bit of a high frequency rattle. Brightly colored. Bright orange on the bottom, chartreuse underlay, dark on top, and then of course the Fire Tiger pattern on it, which tends to work pretty well for walleye here actually. I don't mind Fire Tiger at all. Smallmouth bass would go after this pattern. It'll be probably too deep of a diver for them, but pike for sure. I'll probably get some big pike down deep at that 15-foot range, 15 feet and lower is sort of the big pike in the summer, like to lay there and keep cool. Big walleye will be down there, same idea. I'll get some decent sized walleye on this. Not a bad lure all the way around. I think I will definitely be trying that, especially when I need to get down a little deeper. I don't have a lot of lures that dive 15 or more feet. It's nice to get something like that. Strike Pro Deep Runner, 1019 US. Again, 13-ish, 1350 Canadian, somewhere around there. A bit pricey. Strike Pro is not what I would consider a premium brand, so I don't know if I would pay that locally. I might pay, I think it's only maybe $1 or $2 pricey for what I would pay. I think if I was to go locally and buy one of these, it'd be around that $11.99, $12.50 sort of a price range. So again, it's a little bit high, but only by $1 or so. So it's not, you know, terribly unreasonable. Nothing that I would complain about for sure. All in all, nice lure. I like that. That's everything for the Walleye Pro box. Not a bad value, all things considered. A couple things that were, you know, maybe I feel $1 too expensive, but there's nothing in here that's crazy, out of this realm, that I would never pay for, kind of a thing. Everything was fairly reasonable and fairly appropriate to a subscription box. I think that that's not bad at all. All the colors are great. Everything is appropriate to walleye fishing, which is the key for a walleye box, of course. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments if you think it's appropriate for walleye. Let me know what you think about the colors. I really like the variety of colors in this box this month. And anything else that you want to leave as a comment down there. While you are doing that, don't forget you can like and subscribe. Helps me out a lot for the channel. As usual, thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you outside.